Jack Miller wiped the sweat from his brow as he stared across the endless desert. The sun was harsh, and the wind carried grains of sand that stung his skin. He had been walking for hours, following a map that promised the discovery of something extraordinary. Jack was not an ordinary explorer. He had a knack for finding things that others thought were lost forever, but even he had never seen a desert so vast and empty. His boots sank slightly in the soft sand with each step. Jack's eyes scanned the horizon, looking for any sign of the unusual metal readings his equipment had detected earlier. His scanner beeped quietly, confirming he was close. He took a deep breath, feeling excitement mixed with nervousness. There was something buried here, something ancient. Hours passed, and the sun began to tilt toward the horizon. Jack paused, noticing a faint metallic glint emerging from the sand. His heart quickened. He knelt down, brushing away the sand with his hands. Beneath the top layer, he saw the smooth surface of a strange metal hull. It was unlike anything he had seen before. He grabbed his tools and began digging carefully, uncovering the outline of a massive ship, half buried in the desert for who knew how many years. As the metal surfaced more, Jack realized the ship was enormous. Its shape was sleek and curved, and it shimmered slightly in the sunlight. The design was elegant but strong. He could see markings etched into the hull, worn but still visible. One of them read, "Desert Falcon." Jack's eyes widened. The name sounded familiar, as if it belonged to a story from a very old time. Jack ran his fingers over the control panel that had emerged from the sand. Suddenly, lights blinked across the surface. A soft hum filled the air, and the panel seemed to wake up. A voice spoke, calm and steady but startling. "Admiral, 500 years later, good to serve you again." Jack jumped back. The desert was supposed to be empty. How could a ship speak to him? And why call him Admiral? He pressed his hands against the panel, trying to understand if it was a recording or something else. The voice repeated, "Admiral, it is good to see you." He took a deep breath and said aloud, "I'm not an admiral. I'm Jack Miller, just an explorer." The ship paused. Then the voice replied, "Your ancestor commanded me. I have waited for a Miller to return. Now you are here and my systems can awaken." Jack's mind raced. Could this be true? A ship that waited for 500 years speaking to the descendant of its commander. It sounded impossible, but the evidence was all around him. The Desert Falcon was real, and it was alive in a sense he had never imagined. He began carefully examining the ship, tracing his fingers along the control panels and buttons. He pressed a few keys and a small screen flickered to life, showing schematics of the ship's interior. The ship's compartments were massive, much larger than he expected. There were rooms that looked like they could house entire crews, storage areas filled with supplies, and what appeared to be navigation stations. Jack could hear the voice again. "I am fully operational, Admiral. My systems include navigation, defense, and archives of human history. I am ready to serve you." He felt a shiver run down his spine. The ship was not only alive, but it was also offering him guidance. Jack knew he had to be careful. This was not just a machine. It was powerful, and understanding it fully would take time. He spent the rest of the day clearing sand from the main hatch. As night fell, the desert grew colder, but Jack felt a strange warmth from the ship. The lights inside glowed softly, illuminating the sand around him. He decided to step inside. The interior of the Desert Falcon was unlike anything he had seen. The walls were smooth, metallic, and glowing faintly with light. The floor was solid and quiet under his boots. Panels of unknown technology lined the walls, showing symbols and words that seemed familiar but ancient. Jack walked carefully, his eyes wide with wonder. The voice spoke again, guiding him. "Admiral, I can show you the history stored within my archives. You will understand the humans who came before, the wars we fought, and the galaxy we once knew." Jack nodded, feeling both awe and responsibility. He was about to uncover secrets of humanity lost for centuries. He touched one of the panels and a hologram appeared before him, showing a star map filled with constellations, colonies, and fleets. The stars were familiar but also strange, marking places humans had reached long before they were thought to exist. Hours passed as Jack explored the ship. He found a small room that looked like a command center. Chairs lined the area, and controls surrounded a central console. The voice guided him through basic operations, explaining the ship's functions, propulsion systems, and energy cores. Jack listened carefully, realizing the ship was capable of speeds faster than any vessel he had ever known. Before he knew it, the night had deepened. The desert was quiet and the stars above were bright. Jack stepped outside to breathe. He looked back at the Desert Falcon, half buried in sand but alive with energy. He could hear the faint hum of its engines ready to awaken fully. Jack thought about what this meant. The ship had waited centuries for someone like him. It carried technology and knowledge that could change humanity's place in the galaxy. And now it had chosen him as the one to uncover its secrets. He knew his life would never be the same again. As the first light of dawn touched the desert, Jack made a decision. He would stay with the Desert Falcon, learn its systems and understand its purpose. This was the beginning of a journey that would take him far beyond the desert, beyond the stars, and into a legacy left by his ancestors. The ship had awakened, and so had Jack's destiny. The voice spoke one last time before he returned inside, calm and steady. "Admiral, we have much to do." "The galaxy awaits." Jack smiled, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. The Desert Falcon was not just a ship. It was a link to the past, a key to the future, and a companion that would guide him through what was to come. He stepped back inside, ready to begin the adventure that had been waiting 500 years to start. The next morning, Jack woke to the sound of the Desert Falcon's hum. The ship had been quiet during the night, but now it felt alive, ready for him to explore further. Jack had slept in one of the ship's small cabins. The bed was firm but comfortable. The room had lights that adjusted with the day, giving a sense of morning even in the desert. Jack got up and walked to the control room. The voice greeted him again. "Good morning, Admiral. Today we can begin full activation. I will show you my functions and prepare for departure." Jack nodded. He still felt unsure calling himself an admiral, but the ship insisted. He had grown used to the idea that this was no ordinary machine. He pressed a few keys on the main console, and holographic screens floated in front of him. Star charts, energy readings, and maps of ancient human colonies filled the air. The Desert Falcon began explaining its systems. "My propulsion allows interstellar travel faster than any current ship. My weapons can defend against fleets. My archives contain records of human exploration and combat strategies. All of this awaits your command." Jack listened carefully. He touched the screen that displayed the propulsion system. The ship had engines he could not recognize, designed to manipulate gravity and space-time. The idea of traveling through the stars at such speed made his heart race. The ship suggested a small test flight. Jack agreed. The Desert Falcon rose slightly from the sand. Its engines glowed with blue light. The desert shook gently as the massive ship hovered, lifting higher into the sky. Jack gripped the controls, amazed at the smooth movement. It felt as if the ship was responding to his thoughts. "Admiral, my systems are linked to you. You will feel my intentions as I execute maneuvers," the voice said. Jack smiled. It felt like the ship was alive, almost a friend. He steered carefully, feeling the Desert Falcon respond immediately. They lifted above the desert and Jack looked down. The sand stretched for miles, untouched except for the tracks from his expedition. The sun reflected off the ship's hull, making it shine like a jewel. After a short hover, the ship returned to the desert. Jack's confidence grew. He spent the next hours testing different controls, learning how to move, rotate, and stabilize the ship. The Desert Falcon guided him, explaining the functions of shields, navigation, and energy systems. Next, the ship directed him to the weapons system. Jack felt a pang of fear. Weapons of this type were beyond his imagination. The Desert Falcon explained that its weapons were designed for defense, not unnecessary violence. Jack touched a panel and holograms appeared showing targeting simulations. He practiced moving targets and firing energy pulses that lit up the room with a blue glow. "Remember, Admiral," the ship said, "our goal is protection, not destruction." Jack nodded, feeling responsibility. He had never held such power. The Desert Falcon was giving him the means to defend humans, but he had to learn carefully. Hours passed. Jack explored every room in the ship. There were archives with records of fleets, colonies, and human history. Holograms of battles and strategies appeared when he touched the panels. Jack saw his ancestor, Admiral Henry Miller, giving commands and leading missions across the galaxy. He felt a strong connection to the past, realizing the legacy he had inherited. The ship then showed him hidden compartments. These contained supplies, tools, and personal items from the past. Jack found a storage room filled with preserved food, clothing, and medical kits. The Desert Falcon explained that these were maintained automatically by its systems, untouched for centuries. Jack marveled at the technology that kept everything intact. In the evening, the desert winds began to rise. A storm was coming. Jack realized he needed to prepare the ship for protection. The Desert Falcon activated its shields automatically, covering the hull with a translucent energy field. Sand and wind hit the shields but did not scratch the surface. Jack felt amazed. The ship was not just a machine. It was alive in its own way, protecting itself and him. He stayed inside, monitoring the systems as the storm passed. The voice spoke softly, almost like a companion. "Admiral, your skills are growing. Soon we will leave this desert and explore the stars." Night fell. Jack sat in the command center, thinking about what he had discovered. The Desert Falcon was not just a ship of the past. It was a key to the future. He could feel the weight of history and responsibility. If humans were to rise again in the galaxy, he and this ship would play a role. Before going to sleep, Jack set the ship's systems to maintain full operation. The Desert Falcon glowed softly in the darkness, humming like a living creature. Jack felt a strange comfort knowing he was not alone. The desert was empty, but the ship's presence made it feel like home. He closed his eyes, imagining the stars. The ship would take him far beyond the desert, beyond the planets, and into the unknown. Jack knew that the journey ahead would be dangerous, but with the Desert Falcon by his side, he was ready. The voice spoke one last time as he drifted to sleep. "Rest, Admiral. Tomorrow we will begin training for what lies beyond the stars. Together we will awaken humanity's legacy." Jack smiled and lay back on the bed. He felt hope, excitement, and a deep sense of purpose. The Desert Falcon was no longer just a ship buried in the desert. It was alive, aware, and ready to serve. And Jack Miller, an ordinary explorer, had become part of something extraordinary. Jack woke early, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. The Desert Falcon was not just a ship. It was a vessel full of history and power. Today he would begin exploring its archives. The voice greeted him as always. "Good morning, Admiral. Today we will explore human history and past missions." Jack nodded. He walked to the main console and touched the archive panel. A hologram appeared showing fleets of ships in space. The ships moved in formation, firing energy beams at alien enemies. Jack's eyes widened. He had seen space battles in movies, but this was different. It felt real. The ships moved with precision, and the strategy behind each attack was clear. The Desert Falcon guided him. "These are fleets commanded by your ancestor, Admiral Henry Miller. Humans once ruled vast parts of the galaxy. These records show our strength in the battles we fought." Jack studied the holograms, feeling pride and sadness. Humans had once been powerful, but now so much was lost. The Desert Falcon explained that an alien species had waged war against humans, driving them to near extinction. Many colonies were abandoned, and knowledge was lost over centuries. Jack felt a strong connection to the past. He touched the holograms, seeing images of his ancestor giving orders, sailors working on ships and colonies thriving on distant planets. The ship spoke, "You carry their legacy. I am here to help you understand and continue it." He spent hours exploring. The archives showed maps of human colonies, details about fleets and advanced technology designs. Jack was amazed. Some technology was beyond his understanding, but the ship simplified it for him. He began to learn the principles behind propulsion, energy shields, and weapons systems. Next, the Desert Falcon guided him to a room filled with training simulations. Holographic targets and scenarios appeared. Jack practiced piloting, learning to control the ship in space-like environments. The simulations were realistic, showing asteroids, enemy ships, and extreme conditions. "Admiral, these simulations will prepare you for threats," the ship said. "You must master control before we leave this system." Jack trained for hours, improving with each attempt. He learned to react quickly, understanding how the Desert Falcon moved as if it anticipated his thoughts. The ship was more than a machine. It was a partner, teaching him strategies and techniques. After training, Jack explored hidden compartments within the Desert Falcon. These contained supplies preserved for centuries. There were tools, medical kits, food, and even personal items from the ship's crew long ago. Jack felt a strange connection, imagining the lives of those who had worked aboard the Desert Falcon centuries before. The ship then guided him to the communication system. Jack learned how to send messages across vast distances. The system could reach human colonies thought to be lost. Jack realized he could reconnect humanity using this ship. Hope began to grow inside him. As night approached, Jack sat in the command room reviewing what he had learned. The Desert Falcon hummed softly, as if proud of its new admiral. Jack thought about the responsibility ahead. He had the power to awaken humanity's legacy, but he also had to be careful. The galaxy was dangerous and enemies could still exist. The voice spoke softly. "Admiral, your ancestors' knowledge is yours now. You must learn, protect, and guide. Together we will prepare for what lies ahead." Jack smiled. The Desert Falcon was not just a ship of war. It was a teacher, a guide, and a protector. He felt ready to take the next steps, exploring the galaxy and understanding the full potential of the Desert Falcon. As he drifted to sleep that night, he imagined the stars above the desert. One day he would leave this planet and travel to the colonies, reviving humanity's power and knowledge. The ship had awakened and Jack was ready to follow its guidance into the future. Jack woke to a red glow on the desert horizon. The Desert Falcon's sensors had detected unusual activity nearby. The voice spoke calmly. "Admiral, there are alien scouts approaching. We must prepare." Jack felt a rush of fear and excitement. This was the first real threat he would face. He moved to the control room and studied the situation. Small ships were approaching from the edge of the desert. Their shapes were strange, with dark metal and glowing red lights. The ship's displays showed their trajectory and capabilities. The Desert Falcon spoke, guiding him. "Admiral, we must defend ourselves. Activate shields and prepare defensive systems." Jack followed the instructions. Energy shields hummed around the ship, forming a protective barrier. Weapon systems powered up, and the ship's engines adjusted, ready for rapid movement. Jack felt the Desert Falcon respond to him, almost like it knew his thoughts. The alien scouts approached closer, unaware that the Desert Falcon was no ordinary ship. Jack took a deep breath and guided the ship. He moved with caution, testing the ship's speed and agility. The Desert Falcon responded perfectly, moving with fluidity and precision. "Admiral, we can outmaneuver them. Use their formation against them," the voice advised. Jack followed the guidance. He moved the ship in sudden arcs, forcing the alien scouts to adjust. The ship's energy weapons targeted them accurately, disabling a few without destroying them. The remaining scouts retreated, confused and damaged. Jack felt a surge of confidence. He had successfully defended the Desert Falcon and himself. After the encounter, Jack explored the ship further, preparing for any future threats. The Desert Falcon guided him through advanced systems he had not yet used. He learned about cloaking, faster-than-light travel, and hidden defensive turrets. Each system increased his understanding and control. Jack also studied strategy. The Desert Falcon showed simulations of fleet battles, alien tactics, and defense maneuvers. He realized that knowledge alone was not enough. Quick thinking and decision-making were crucial. The ship helped him practice, adjusting simulations to be more challenging each time. During this time, Jack found a room containing more archives. Holograms of human history and colonization appeared. He saw how humans had built colonies on distant planets, fought wars, and developed advanced technology. It amazed him to see how far humanity had reached before losing much of its power. The Desert Falcon encouraged him. "Admiral, you are learning quickly. Soon we will leave this planet and travel to human colonies. Your skills must be ready." Jack trained day and night, practicing maneuvers, learning systems, and studying history. He felt a bond with the ship like it was more than a machine. It was his partner, teacher, and protector. He knew the journey ahead would be dangerous, but he felt ready. One evening, while reviewing maps of distant colonies, the Desert Falcon spoke urgently. "Admiral, sensors detect activity near the colonies. Unknown forces may threaten human settlements. We must prepare to travel and protect them." Jack's heart raced. This was the first mission outside the desert. He had been training for this moment. He activated the ship's engines, feeling the power as the Desert Falcon lifted into the sky. The desert below became smaller as they rose, and the stars appeared above, vast and endless. Jack guided the ship carefully, feeling the Desert Falcon respond to his thoughts. They moved faster than any ship he had ever seen, traveling over deserts, oceans, and mountains in hours. The ship's systems monitored distant colonies, showing potential threats and safe routes. As they approached the first colony, Jack saw signs of danger. Alien scouts were attempting to attack a human settlement. He felt a surge of determination. With the Desert Falcon, he had the power to defend them. Jack carefully maneuvered the ship. He used shields and weapons with precision, disabling the alien scouts and protecting the colony. The humans below watched in awe as the massive ship moved with speed and grace. Jack realized the Desert Falcon was not just a weapon, it was hope for humanity. After the attack, Jack communicated with the colony leaders. They were amazed to hear his calm voice and learn that the ship had protected them. Jack felt proud but also understood the responsibility he now carried. Humanity was fragile, and the Desert Falcon was a powerful tool that could change the future. The ship guided him to the next colony. Jack practiced what he had learned, using strategies, weapons, and defensive systems effectively. Each encounter increased his confidence and skill. He was no longer just an explorer. He was a commander, responsible for protecting humans across the galaxy. As night fell, Jack reviewed the maps and planned the next steps. The Desert Falcon's voice spoke softly. "Admiral, you are ready for the challenges ahead. Together we will rebuild and protect humanity's legacy." Jack smiled, feeling a mix of excitement and determination. The galaxy was dangerous, but he had the Desert Falcon. He had knowledge, power, and the support of a ship that had waited 500 years for him. The journey was just beginning, and he was ready to face whatever came next. Jack woke early, feeling the weight of a new day and the responsibility it carried. The Desert Falcon's sensors were active, scanning the galaxy for potential threats. The voice spoke calmly. "Admiral, today we will begin our journey to reconnect with human colonies and face any challenges that await." Jack felt determination. He had trained, learned the ship's systems, and faced his first alien encounter successfully. Now it was time to take the Desert Falcon beyond the deserts and stars of his home planet. He guided the ship smoothly, feeling its response as if it were part of him. The ship moved faster than anything he had known, gliding through space with precision. As they traveled, Jack studied the star maps and discovered colonies that had survived the centuries in isolation. The Desert Falcon's archives showed details about their cultures, resources, and histories. Jack realized the importance of each colony. They were the remnants of humanity's past and the seeds of its future. The first colony they reached was small but thriving. Jack could see the settlements and the people working in harmony. However, the sensors detected alien ships approaching. Jack felt a surge of responsibility. He moved quickly, using the Desert Falcon's advanced systems to cloak the ship and approach the alien vessels unseen. "Admiral, we can intercept them without alerting the colony," the voice advised. Jack nodded. He used the ship's weapons and strategy systems to disable the alien ships one by one. Energy beams struck with precision, and shields absorbed counterattacks. The alien ships were no match for the Desert Falcon's advanced systems and Jack's careful command. After the threat was neutralized, Jack communicated with the colony leaders. They were amazed to hear a human voice guiding the Desert Falcon and protecting them. Jack assured them of safety and promised to remain vigilant. The colony expressed gratitude and hope, seeing the Desert Falcon as a symbol of humanity's revival. Jack spent the next days traveling from one colony to another. Each encounter with alien scouts or rogue fleets tested his skills, but he grew more confident with every mission. The Desert Falcon's systems guided him, and the ship's voice offered advice and strategies. Jack learned to trust both his instincts and the ship's intelligence. During the journey, Jack discovered ancient human technology hidden on some planets. These devices had been dormant for centuries, waiting for someone to activate them. With the Desert Falcon's guidance, Jack restored the equipment, bringing new resources and defense systems to the colonies. Humans were beginning to see a path forward. Jack also trained colony leaders and volunteers, teaching them basic defensive tactics and the principles of fleet coordination. The Desert Falcon projected holograms to demonstrate strategies and techniques. Slowly, humanity was learning to organize and defend itself again. One day, while traveling near the edge of a star cluster, Jack detected a massive fleet of alien ships. Their numbers were overwhelming. Jack felt tension rise, but he did not panic. He had the Desert Falcon and the knowledge gained from his ancestors' archives. The Desert Falcon spoke with calm authority. "Admiral, we must act with precision and strategy. This is our chance to show humanity's strength." Jack coordinated a series of maneuvers using the ship's cloaking, speed, and weapon systems. He created decoys and traps, leading the alien fleet into a series of ambushes. The Desert Falcon's shields and firepower protected him and neutralized the enemy ships with minimal risk. After the battle, Jack communicated with the scattered human colonies. The news of his success spread quickly. Humans began to organize, sending messages to other isolated settlements, inspired by the Desert Falcon's victories and Jack's leadership. Hope was growing. Jack continued the journey, visiting colony after colony. Each visit strengthened alliances and helped humanity regain confidence. He used the Desert Falcon's archives to teach, guide, and protect. Slowly, humans began to rebuild fleets, improve technology, and understand their place in the galaxy. One evening, as Jack rested in the command room, he reflected on the journey. From the moment he discovered the Desert Falcon buried in the desert, his life had changed. He had become a leader, a protector, and a symbol of hope. The ship, which had waited 500 years, had fulfilled its purpose by guiding him. The voice spoke softly. "Admiral, the galaxy is vast, but humanity is awakening. Together we have begun a new era." Jack smiled. He looked out at the stars, thinking of the humans he had protected and the colonies that now thrived. He felt proud but humble, understanding the responsibility that still lay ahead. The Desert Falcon was not just a ship. It was a living connection to the past and a guide to the future. As he prepared for the next mission, Jack knew that challenges would continue. But he also knew that with the Desert Falcon, humans had a chance to rise again. He had learned from history, trained with the ship, and faced danger with courage. Humanity's legacy was no longer lost. It was being rebuilt. The journey was far from over, but Jack felt ready. The Desert Falcon hummed softly, lights glowing across its hull. Together, they would continue to explore, protect, and guide humanity back to its place among the stars. Jack Miller, the explorer who had discovered a buried ship in the desert, had become the admiral humanity needed, and the Desert Falcon was by his side, ready to serve once more.